Nearly 50% of Americans watch the game of basketball. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's a critic. But how many truly understand the game at a high level? Welcome to Passing the Knowledge with Chris and Chuck.
How y'all doing? I'm Chris Evans, Director of Lead Basketball in Chris Evans Basketball.
I'm Charlie Von Osten. I'm a senior at St. Lawrence University, currently interning for Chris this summer. And I've been doing some internships trying to get right for player development. That's something that I want to get into. Chris was a big inspiration for me on that. And last summer I got the opportunity to work with NBA players with Chris Brickley. And now kind of like a full circle moment because Chris has been my private trainer for, I don't know, several years.
10 years now.
Yeah.
Just some things I'll say about Charlie that he won't say. Just hardest worker I've ever worked with. Remember meeting him when he was 13 years old. We were in Brewster, New York, really close to home for us. We're both from Connecticut. But he walked over to me at an AAU tournament, had his hoodie up, and I could tell he was a little nervous about saying it, but was basically just like, "Hey, I'm Charlie. Are you Chris?" I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "I'd love to train with you. Would love to improve my game, get better." And just had a lot of respect for him from day one, from, you know what I mean, just taking that leap of faith as a young man and coming up to me and just going to get what he wanted, right? Like trying to better his career, his game. And we've shared that for a while, and like he said, now to have him interning and coaching with me and giving back to some kids that I'm out here in Charleston with is ridiculous. It's crazy to think about, but he's doing a great job. Going to be a really good coach, great trainer, whatever he wants to be. But I'm definitely lucky to have him, and so is our program. It's going to be a big summer, man. It's going to be a big summer.
Yeah, it's been fun so far. I've been here for a little over a week. And we got AAU tournament last weekend.
We're in Greenville.
4-0. Yep, 4-0 for the 14U girls. 13U girls wasn't so hot, but they've been solid all season. And 14U boys lost in the championship. They've also been great all season.
Yeah, I mean it's a strong showing for our program overall. I think for us starting this thing, I mean in March this spring and really just getting this program off the ground in the first year with 3 teams, as Charlie said, 8th grade perspective, girls and boys, and then a 7th grade girls team. We are really proud of just what we're building and what we're doing. We think it'll impact the Low Country in Charleston area as a whole, but especially girls and boys youth basketball. But shout out to my coaches. Our head men's coach is Joey Forelli. Our head 13U girls coach is Dynasty Hayward, and big time assistant all over and big time strength and conditioning coach is Devontae Moon.
Coach Moon.
If you know Moon, man, he's just great people, great energy. He's serious about his defense. If anybody follows me, it's all that post.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well,
one question I had for you is why lead? Why that name? And what did that really mean to you in the program?
I think two things, right? I think one, just I thought it was dope to just have an acronym as like what our basketball club or academy or whatever you want to call it is going to be, right? Just there's so many play on words and so many things you can do with that. And yeah, I think lead is like in all aspects, like in that acronym as a whole, what we're trying to do, right? Like we're trying to lead in as far as competition. We're trying to lead in as far as development. We're trying to lead in as far as making this the most fun program that we can make it.
Sure.
So all of those things just kind of wrap into one. That's why the infinity is a big thing as far as the logo. But yeah, man, I think it rung bells for me when I kind of wrote down a bunch of things and spit out some things, and it stuck.
Yeah, just a quick thing. I know I've only been here for a week, but just seeing the girls play, especially the 14U girls, because that's kind of your team and the team that I'm assisting primarily. when you see these girls play against these other 8th grade girls, they're leaps and bounds better, not because they're more skilled. I think it's just the what you've instilled in them from the jump, from the beginning of the season, like the ability to play off 2 feet, like every day in practice. The dailies, you got jump stops, you got jab steps, all that stuff, which I think is extremely important in the fundamentals.
No, I appreciate it, man. I think one, like I've been blessed with really good coaches,
Sure.
from youth basketball up. I could throw a bunch of names out from George Matthews, JJ, Danny Melzer, Mo. There's just been so many guys that have really like pushed and instilled, I think, good basketball in me.
Right.
And then as you grow and you get out of your playing realm and you get into your coaching realm, you start looking at great coaches, right? And like what works for them and why. Why are they so consistently good, right? And it's a culture, it's a system. And one of those things for me, I think, was one, I think I love Tom Izzo and his toughness and what he instills in like team and how much love he shows his players and just everybody in his program. And then a big one also from just being a Big East kid and growing up in Connecticut was Jay Wright, being right there at Nova. And you see that with Jalen Brunson. You see that with all of those players that he's coached. They get in the lane, they play on 2,
Yep.
and everything is slow down, make a great decision. And shout out to my D2 coach, Dwayne Osborne, who's now an assistant coach. But he's at Youngstown State. But when I got to the University of Charleston in West Virginia in 2015, he kind of just slowed my game down for me, just making me jump stop and practice every chance he got. Calling turnovers, blowing the whistle, giving the ball up to the other team. Just really trying to instill in me like you could be so much better just slowing down a little and making decisions if you just got on 2. And that was great for me. So, yeah, trying to teach those things that I learned at higher levels really early. Trying to not make it overwhelming and not understandable or relatable for the girls or the boys even that I work with. But I think, I appreciate what you said. But I got to shout out the people that have really invested in my game and in my basketball knowledge. You know what I mean?
You definitely had a successful playing career. You played in college at a couple. Go ahead and list them off.
Played at Sacred Heart for 3 years. I had a very good freshman year. I think my sophomore year was a little banged up and played injured, but no excuse there. It wasn't as good as my freshman year. And then other than that, like off the court, and I'm honest with my kids about that, I wasn't a leader and I wasn't ready to handle college and I guess time management in basketball and school and social life. So all of those things in one, I think is a good part of my story as well. I didn't have like this straight edge, like really easy road to get in here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's an example of like just perseverance and going through some things and bumps in the roads in life, like adversity, like you do. And just kind of learning from it and getting better. You know what I mean? Getting better every day. But yeah, I was at Sacred Heart 3 years, had a pretty good career, was on my way to getting 1,000 points. A great coach there, who's head coach now, Anthony Latina. It was an assistant for 2 years while I was there, and then became the head. Dave Bike was a legendary coach who was there from D2 years to D1, has stories of coaching against and with everybody, man. Coached against Manute Bowl at University of Bridgeport. Has won D2 championships. He's just a legend, man. But again, like a wealth of knowledge from those guys. And then senior year, ended up going to the University of Charleston, as I said. Met Dwayne Osborne, a guy named Brett Rector. Ended up recruiting me out there, who's just a great dude, great shooter, head coach now out in West Virginia. But yeah, those guys just instilled a different part of just basketball, and I think just growing up as a young man in me.
How do you think, you've also played overseas, how do you think having such a successful playing career has impacted your ability to coach? Any pros or cons for that?
I mean, I think, just being blessed to play in so many different systems, to play for so long and play at the levels I've played at. Yeah, I've been able to learn from so many different coaches, different styles. I think being in Europe for a year definitely had a lot to do with just my fundamental and tedious detail. But it was eye opening. You know what I mean? Like it just every step of that from youth basketball to high school, just the development phase. It's really cool to see kids go through it, fall in love with it like you did. You know what I mean? But I know that everyone isn't going to play at the levels that I played at. I know everybody isn't. That's really hard to do. But being able to just give those nuggets and have, you know what I mean, those relationships, that's enough. You know what I mean? Basketball still keeps me there. So it's cool.
Looking at our leader of the week, shout out Shadur Sanders.
Yeah, Shadur, man. Like that's for sure. Like we were talking about it earlier. Like you got a kid who's thrown over 14,000 yards, 130 touchdowns. Like he's always been in the heat and in the spotlight because of his last name, and I don't think he's ever shied away from it.
No.
But he's backed it up as well as, you know what I mean, on the field. I'm not gonna say like, you know what I mean, he's a kid, man. Like everybody's like I just said about myself, has made mistakes, and he definitely has had some interviews that I'm sure he'd love to go back on, and games after like Colorado State when he didn't shake homeboy's hand, but he's a competitor. You know what I mean? He's human, and I think the Browns have a gem. Like I really do. It would be really cool to see Cleveland have a quarterback that they could ride on and build around. That'd be great.
Sadly, Cleveland isn't known for great quarterbacks, but hopefully he could turn it around.
That is true.
I think something that's important to point out is like, although Shadur has made a lot of mistakes and also been in the spotlight, I think already you can kind of see some turnaround, keeping his head down. Like, well, there's so much media scrutiny out there.
Grinding. Haven't heard anything about him since the draft. You know what I mean? Haven't seen a camera in his face. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, you just nailed it on the head. I think he's maturing as we speak. So I would love to see him do well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd be really great. That'd be a great story. I think he's a good kid, man. He loves football. You know what I mean? He was born into a great situation. And even more respect for that. Just like Bronny James, right? Like that they have to work hard. You know what I mean? Like their lives would have been good either way.
For sure.
But they still put the time in. So respect to both of those dudes.
Looking at this next weekend coming up for team lead, how the practice has been looking this week. What are you trying to emphasize?
So we got a little work just strength and conditioning wise. Trying to just push the girls, and even though we only practice like 3 times a week, and some train obviously more, we really want to just switch it up at this point in the season. We're 4 or 5 tournaments in. Don't want to like give them the same old routine. So we added some strength and conditioning in for the first, 30 minutes, 45. We had some chalk talk on the board and had the girls quiz a little bit on plays and making sure they know, where you're supposed to be, but not only you, your teammates as well. So we're still working on offensive fluidity, and we're in 8th grade, right? So that's still going to take a lot of time. And then I guess our focus right now is, man, just staying hungry. We've been very blessed to win 4 out of 4 tournaments. We're gonna play up 2 divisions this weekend locally and play in the 16U bracket as a 14U team. But I'm confident in the kids that we have and the work they put in. They do a lot of shell drill and defensive like slides and understanding rotations already. We talk about ball screen defense and in the practice switching and high hedging and what that looks like, and guards getting over rather than under when you low hedge, or soft hedge, I should say. Just use a lot of terminology that I think helps the girls communicate 100%. And will help them communicate in different levels and different teams, and hope that they can bring that back to their teams in the high school June season, which when you get to play with your regular public or private high school and have practices up in scrimmages, stuff like that. So hoping they bring that leadership and that knowledge that they're getting and implement it in their programs.
I think that's the biggest thing is like the takeaways. Like I think some coaches are more focused on how can I maximize these kids for this season, for these games, instead of trying to nail down certain chalk talk points or actions or different terminology, like you were saying. Because I think that's definitely some of the takeaways that I got training with you when I was younger. That when I was in college or when I was playing varsity in high school, that I immediately knew from the jump, and it gave me a leg up on teammates or even the competition. So I think that's something super important.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I think knowledge of the game is right. Like I always say, we're not inventing the wheel.
Yeah.
We're sharing a lot of like what's already known, and then there's more fast-paced offense now, and a little more European style, and the ball moving, and more people spread out and shooting.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, as you said, like learning the right way to play and about spacing and terminology and why you rise when somebody drives and why you flood, why you hedge hard and why you go under. Those things right away. If you know that, you have an advantage as a youth player. So, yeah, again, I think those are nuggets, and I'm glad that those things work for you. So thank you for sharing that.
I think the awareness piece, court awareness, and IQ, that's what really separates players, and especially me, like not being the greatest athlete in my conference or at my level or the most skilled player. I think having the ability to know where I'm supposed to be on the floor, how to work with my teammates, spacing, screening, playing off the ball and on the ball, I think that's what allows me to play at this level. And that's something that you're definitely working on, so I think that's really important.
No doubt. I think as much as you're giving me credit on that, man, like you put the work in too, right? Like you were obsessed with the game, and you put yourself in positions like sophomore year, going all the way up to Waterbury and going an hour early to go work out at the YMCA and then going to practice. And shout out to your parents for their dedication and the time they put in with just those schedules. But like you learn to play off the ball. You learn to play with the ball in your hands. You were willing to put yourself in uncomfortable positions like that. And I think at the end of the day, right, like, I can help you kind of, all right, feed you some knowledge or what I went through, or help you with what I know, right, in the gym. But you got to put the work in. You got to put the pedal to the metal. So it's really cool still to see you try to navigate your way and figure out, right, this senior year. And I'm excited for it. And this summer, obviously, we talk a lot about like how we're gonna make sure that's a great one. But make sure, you know what I mean, your mind's a weapon, just like your shot, and continue sharpening your game. I think you'll see on the coaching side, now that you've managed, you know what I mean, some players and organized practice and seen how much goes into just a small AAU, you know what I mean, program. You'll have an appreciation for how much time your coaches are putting in to make sure you guys are successful and you guys look good.
No doubt.
You know what I mean, every season.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Going to a full timeout now. Just talking about some like church announcements. For the month of June, every Friday, we're gonna be going to the church.
Harborview Presbyterian. We're gonna be trying to do some 3rd and 4th grade workouts and trying to go younger and really just teach again. You know what I mean? Like the fundamentals of the game. Teach kids the proper way to shoot the ball, dribble the ball, form. Talk a lot about, you know what I mean, where your hands should be, not dribbling in your palm, footwork. Always we'll have some type of, like, if not ladder drills, some type of cone drills where they're working on their coordination and stuff like that. But please reach out to us. You can email me at cevans@portergallo.edu. But also you can reach out and DM me at Chris Evans Basketball on Instagram as well.
We'll have everything in the description, so you could just look at that. Yeah. Another thing, we've had one beach workout with the team lead organization, but hopefully we can implement that, and also the month of June. We had
a great time doing a beach workout and a beach cleanup about 2 weeks ago with our AAU teams. Again, we have great kids in the program. They really took it on and I think had fun with it as well. They were serious about getting it done. But we were on the beach and I would say an hour and a half after the workout, and just did a good job. And I think it'd be great to do it again in June. At least get one or two more, but one would be great.
Definitely.
So we'll invite and send some information out on that as well.
Yeah, I had mentioned that I'm interning for Chris during the summer. A lot of that's like on-court assistant stuff, trying to get through the kids, I think, at my age, and also playing currently. It helps me get through to them. But also there's some back-end stuff that I'm helping you out with, like organizational stuff and social media stuff. And so like I helped you make a YouTube channel and a TikTok. What's that been like, trying to like develop this new age social media stuff?
It's been cool, man. It's something that I've wanted to implement, definitely some more social media and just videos and just share a lot of the stuff that I've been doing over the last 10 years, 12 years, especially with kids like this. But now Charlie's not a kid, right? He's a young man, and he's able to come back and teach me a lot of the tech side and why I should have a TikTok, because I was against that for a while, I'll be honest. But it's been great. Like I'm getting a lot of knowledge on TikTok and able to share pages and share workouts and little ideas with other coaches and trainers. And then the YouTube page, I think it's just being away from home again and having a few ties back home that of people that I still communicate with and still keep in touch with about their basketball careers, their workouts, or their kids. Now it's something that we can use every day. It'll be on the internet. It'll be on our page. Hopefully we'll keep this thing going and keep it fresh. But yeah, I'll always have some stuff up for the folks that are just starting out or just want to pull up the computer and get a workout in virtually by themselves. But appreciate Charlie a lot for that, man. It's really gonna, I think, just give a different dynamic, and it already has, to the program. Obviously the kids love it. They're all about it. And the more that we can get our kids just seen in the right spotlight, I think that's the biggest thing. So these platforms are huge.
100%. I think there's so many opportunities for kids to get a little bit of highlights, a little spotlight on them.
No doubt.
Because I think, especially in like certain programs or certain things like that, they're not really getting the attention that maybe they want, or that they see the other players getting. Like whether it's a ranking site that's ranking certain players in the area. I know we've had a couple instances with that, but it's important to, like, if nobody else is going to put them up, we can put them up, because we know how important that they are, not only to the team but just as players in general. And promote them.
I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, a lot of these ranking sites and things like that for kids who are in high school even, it's kind of who you know and what area you're in. I'll say that as, a college basketball player and someone who has a best friend who's an ESPN Top 100 recruit. Like if you're not on ESPN, if you're not on, you know what I mean, I'm not even going to say like a Max Preps, and that's no disrespect to them, but not everybody puts their information on Max Preps. Not every high school is implementing their stats on there. So yeah, like shout out to those people who are working their tails off to get people on sites and to help kids get seen. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying like that kids, this is more a message to players and to kids that I work with or train with. You got to just continue working, and when you do put that time in and you do put that work in, trust me, you'll be seen. Like somebody will see you. And I don't think, and I think we see it all the time, and I try to post as much as I can those stories on social media, right? The Tyrese Halliburtons of the world, the Derek Whites of the world. You don't have to be a 5-star player to be a pro. You don't have to be a 5-star player to be a Division I player. You got to be different in as far as your work ethic and as far as your confidence in who you are. Be true to your game. So, yeah, it's a good thing, right? But it's a double-edged sword.
Definitely.
Because, right, in a kid's mind, in a 13, 14-year-old's mind, they're like, dang, like, I didn't get that. But, like, we know there's some real ones out there that never had a star, right? So it's just about being in the right place at the right time, putting yourself in those positions to play against those type of kids, those type of people. And I think with our program, man, we're really gonna be able to make some noise. And like this weekend, we have opportunity to show that we have some special kids at our age in this area. So excited.
I think a big thing, we'll probably have to talk about this another day, just social media in general. I think it's so prevalent in these young kids' lives, and it's kind of like taking control of them. And so they might not have the mentor like I had with you telling them, hey, that stuff doesn't matter. You really just have to focus on yourself And if you're good enough, somebody will find you, which is exactly what happened with me. Not only that, but you got to put yourself out there on your own.
Yeah.
I think this podcast is going to be really important just to give the kids and give the parents these keys that they could tell the kids stuff like that, because they might not have that type of person in their life.
Yeah, I think that's just piggybacking off of that. We'd love to help, like, just give knowledge on those things. Be very real and very honest about our experiences and how hard it was, right? Like, I was a kid who wasn't a great student, and that was nobody's fault but mine. You know what I mean? I didn't put the time and the work in academically, but playing two sports in basketball and football and being at a huge public high school in Stamford, Connecticut, I thought I had it made, you know what I mean? And very quickly and very humbly, I had to go to do a prep year, which was great for me. Did a PG year at Taft in Watertown, Connecticut, and then I think from there I really started to realize that I wasn't studying, or really didn't know how to study. I didn't put enough time in the classroom and enough work and effort in the classroom to make myself successful at those levels of colleges right away. So for any kids, right, like that, you're questioning physically, academically, any of those things. Even if it's not, we don't have to talk on the social media. I hope people start to reach out and start to ask those questions, because I think we both are very open and honest and definitely willing to help some people. And if we can help you in a small certain subject that I think will be rare, we know somebody who can. So
whether it's reaching out through social media or just dropping in the comments, we'll definitely read through all of them.
No doubt.
But I think going to the next Hooper of the week, I think shout out Shea. I think he's got to get it.
Sheesh.
Yeah, MVP.
MVP, man. MVP Shea. Really surprised me. I know he had an unbelievable Game 7, and great seeing him, you know what I mean, after the smile. Just let them know, like, you know what I mean, this is what it's all about. Yeah. But I'm so big on Ant-Man, you know what I mean, and I think Ant-Man's one of the best youngins, if not the best, and obviously Shea's up there as well. Yeah. But Shea really came out and just controlled the pace of the game, controlled getting to the line and putting their team in a lot of trouble as far as fouls. Yeah. And that for me was just old school playoff ball. It wasn't just all threes, so that was cool.
Yeah. I think something that he excels on is like his feel for the game, and being able to kind of manipulate the game. There's a couple guys I watched, like Mind the Game pod with LeBron James, and it used to be JJ Redick, and they talk about these psychos, these guys who read the rules of NBA and like how can they manipulate each thing. Kobe Bryant does it a lot, where if I see a ref on the baseline and a ref at the top of the half court, I know I could foul here because he can't see it. Yeah. I got my player here who's going to block him, stuff like that. And I think Shea, Jalen Brunson, some guys like that who get criticized so commonly about foul baiting, I think it's more like manipulating the game in a good way. Yeah. It may not be as fun to watch, slows the game down, but I think their ability to alter the pace and dictate how the game is played, I think is like a master manipulation.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for like us at home, right? Because we hear like about all these flopping rules and people want to take flopping out of basketball and they call it soft now, not knowing how physical basketball is at these levels. But like I guess you call it foul baiting is the term. Shea and Jalen are really good at putting you on your heels. Yeah. They're really good at getting you out of position, and then learning to get up in a shot, in the motion of a shot, or in a pickup early. Definitely. To where like the referees have to give you 2 free throws, if not an and one. I don't think those two are just flopping all around the court. I think some players do it a little more than others, but those dudes also are 2 dogs that get downhill and get their shoulder in your chest, and you'll be caught on the baseline while they're laying it up. You know what I mean? So, but like you said, I heard Steve Nash, I think, and LeBron talk about it a few weeks ago, and Shea is really special at knowing when to bump you, right, and to use his strength and his length with his long arms, but then also understanding when he's getting a bump and he can get a finish and to me, it's a craft. It's if it was that easy, everybody would do 100%. It, right? So, I think they're changing the game in that sense. And we'll see a lot more guys that, if you're of that skill and of that stature, right? And this is a long, tall guy, and this is Jalen Brunson, who's smaller, so 6'1", 6 feet, right? So he it's a craft, and shout out to both of those dudes, man. They're great point guards and great players to watch.
Definitely. I think kind of to wrap it up, it's been a really exciting NBA playoffs. No more college basketball to watch, but the NBA is keeping up with some entertaining basketball. I think personally, me watching, I've been watching since I was, I don't know, 8 years old, and Steph kind of brought me into the game with all the threes and the ability to show off different skills that he has. But at the same time, they're kind of dominating every game.
Yeah.
Now every team is competitive. There's so many teams with 1 through 5. They got players that can play, and that just speaks to how hard every player, whether it's the youth or the pro guys now, how hard they want to be great.
Yeah.
And it shows with how competitive the 7-seed Warriors are beating the 2-seed Rockets. The Nuggets with Jokic are bring games to Game 7 against a 1-seeded OKC. So
yeah, I think, like you said, it's the field's been a little deeper than it has been in the last few years. We can't pick the 2 or 3 teams that we know are going to be in the Western Conference or Eastern Conference Finals, which is fun, right? Like you said, after a great March Madness, it's really fun to get into an NBA playoff like this. And shout out to WNBA as well. Yeah. I think just now, with all the light that these young players have gotten in college basketball, and there's always been some dogs, right? Like I remember, for me, like dating back to WNBA players or college players like Ivory Latta, Maya Moore, you name them, Shamika Coleslaw. The social media presence wasn't there, but these young ladies have been needing a stage like this, and the recognition that they're getting now. But just being a girls basketball coach and being in that realm, it's really cool, man. It gives young girls hope. It gives them a reason to really keep grinding and going. And we're in a great state with Dawn Staley kind of running college basketball on the girls' side right now. Yeah. But I just appreciate all you for watching. And again, please, if we can help in any way, basketball-wise or else, reach out to us again. But we'll see you next time. All right?
appreciate it.
Appreciate you.